Hello, today we are going to do computer hardware maintenance and repair. Let's dive in. First of all, we have to understand the structure of the computer system. The computer system comprises of the hardware and the software components. The hardware is the physical part you can see and touch, while the software is the program or instruction set that the computer system runs on. Hardware components include the input devices, the output devices, the memory and storage devices, processing devices. Input devices include the keyboard, mouse, microphone, scanner, and other input devices. Output devices include the monitor or screen, speakers, printer, and other output devices. Memory devices include the RAM, the ROM, the hard disks, and other memory devices. While processing devices include the CPU and GPU. More hardware components. We have the motherboard, we have the expansion slots, CMOS batteries, cooling fans, power supply units, and heat sink. Input devices. This includes the mouse. The mouse is a hand-operated input device that is used to manipulate objects on the computer screen. It is used to navigate and click around the computer screen. Next, we have the keyboard. This is the primary input device of a computer system. It is used to type letters, numbers, and symbols, as well as other functions. We have the scanner. The scanner is a device that captures images from physical objects such as documents, photographs, and posters, and converts them into a digital format that you can work with in the computer system. There are several types of scanners, e.g. the flatbed scanners and the 3D scanner. The 3D scanner digitizes real-world objects into computer models for applications like 3D printing, reverse engineering, and quality control. When choosing a model, key factors include the size of the object you want to scan, the required level of detail you desire, and your budget. The monitor. A monitor is an electronic output device that displays visual information like text, images, and videos from a computer. It works by receiving signals from the computer's graphics card and convert them into a visual format on the screen. Monitors can be standalone desktop devices or built directly into laptops and tablets. They are similar to TV but typically offer higher resolution for sharper images. A printer is a peripheral device that produces a hard copy of document and image from a computer onto a medium like paper. Common types include inkjet, which spray liquid ink, laser, using a laser to transfer toners, and 3D printer that builds objects layer by layer. 3D printer. A 3D printer is a machine that creates a physical object from a digital file. It builds the object layer by layer from the bottom up by adding material until the shape is fully formed. Think of it like a regular inkjet printer, but instead of laying down flat layers of ink to create a picture on paper, it lays down thin layer of plastic, resin, or other material to build a three-dimensional object. Memory storage device. Memory devices are hardware devices that allows you to store data for later use. Some of the most popular storage devices include the HDD, hard disk drive, and solid-state drive. Type of storage device used in a computer. Primary storage devices. This is a medium that holds memory for a short period of time while the computer is still running, e.g. RAM, ROM, and the cache memory. Secondary storage device. Secondary storage device, also known as auxiliary or external storage, is a non-volatile side-project memory that stores data permanently. Example are HDD, SSD, and flash drive. Primary storage device. Primary storage device, also known as main memory, are internal to a computer and are used for short-term fast data access while the computer is still running. Examples include the RAM, the ROM, and the CPU cache memory. Primary storage device, RAM, or random access memory, is a computer high-speed short-term and volatile memory used to store data for quick access by the CPU. It is used for tasks like running applications and browsing the web, and its performance is directly linked to the amount of RAM memory and speed of the RAM installed. Other primary storage device. In computer hardware, ROM is a type of non-volatile memory. This means that data stored on it is permanent and remains intact even when the power is turned off. Functions of the ROM include: it contains the firmware, that's the software that is permanently stored on a hardware device, a computer basic input or output system, or unified extensible firmware interface. For example, installed in a ROM and provides the basic instructions for a computer startup. Secondary storage device is a type of non-volatile computer storage used for long-term data retention that is separate from the main processor. Unlike primary storage device, which is the RAM, it retains data even when the power is off and is used for things like operating systems, applications, and user files. Common examples include hard disk drives, solid-state drives, optical disks like DVD, and cloud storage. So let's look at the internal structure of the different disk drives. For the HDD, which is 3.5 inch, while the SSD is 2.5 inch. As you can see, they have different internal structures. So this is the external features of the HDD and the SSD. Processing device devices. CPU is the brain of a computer that executes instructions, performs calculation, and manages data flow. It is a crucial hardware component found in nearly all electronic devices from smartphones to servers. The CPU contains arithmetic logic unit for math and logic operation and a control unit to manage the flow of instructions. The CPU runs the operating systems and applications by interpreting and executing program instructions. GPU, Graphic Processing Unit, is a specialized electronic circuit for accelerating images and video creation. While originally designed for graphics and gaming, the ability to perform many calculations at once makes them useful for other demanding tasks like artificial intelligence, scientific computing, and video processing. Function of the graphic processing unit: it performs parallel processing, breaks down complex tasks into smaller components that can be processed simultaneously, which is much faster than a CPU for a certain calculation. Accelerate Graphics handles the rendering of 2D and 3D graphics for display. Reduces CPU workload, offloads the heavy computation tasks from the CPU, allowing the CPU to focus on other functions, gaming and video. Crucial for rendering modern video games and handling high-definition videos and effects. Other computer hardware: the motherboard. A motherboard is the main printed circuit board in a computer. It connects and allows communication between all internal components, such as the CPU, RAM, HDD, and graphic card. It provides power to these parts and serves as the central hub for internal hardware and external peripheral like a keyboard and mouse. Motherboard comes in different sizes, tall form factor like ATX, Micro ATX, and Mini ATX to fit different computer cases. Form factors are standardized sizes, shapes, and physical specifications that ensures compatibility between components like the motherboard, power supply, and case. That means different computer systems can get the same or different form factor depending on the size of the casing or the size of the motherboard. Functions of the motherboard: connect components. It acts as the central backbone connecting the CPU, RAM, hard drive or SSD, and expansion card like the graphic card. Facilitates communication. It uses a system of copper or aluminum traces to form circuit that allows all the connected components to communicate with each other. Provides power. The motherboard distributes power from the power supply to all the connected components. Expansion slots. Expansion slots are connectors on a computer's motherboard that allow you to add additional hardware components such as graphic card, sound card, network adapters, and more. These slots provide a way to communicate with the central processing unit and other core components for your computer. CMOS battery. Complementary metal oxide semiconductor. CMOS battery is a small coin-shaped battery found on a computer's motherboard. It provides power to the CMOS chip, which stores important system information such as the date, time, and hardware settings in the CMOS memory. What does the CMOS battery do? The CMOS battery serves several crucial functions in your computer. 1. Maintain system time and date. It keeps the real-time clock running even when the computer is powered off, and ensuring the correct date and time are maintained. Preserves BIOS settings. It ensures that your BIOS settings are retained between restart, preventing the system from reverting to default settings. Enable quick startup. By maintaining BIOS settings, it allows for faster boot time and ensures the operating system loads correctly. Supports power management. It helps manage low power rates when the computer is in sleep or hibernation mode. Cooling fan. Cooling fan are devices designed to move air and reduce heat, commonly used in electronic appliances and industrial systems. They come in various types, each suited for specific cooling needs. Heat sink. A heat sink is a passive component that transfers excess heat from an electronic or mechanical device to a fluid medium like air or liquid to prevent overheating and ensure proper operation. It works by conducting heat from the hot device to its field or other structures, which increase the surface area for heat dissipation through convection. Heat sinks are typically made from material with high thermal conductivity such as aluminum or copper, and are essential for cooling CPUs, GPUs, and other high heat generating components in computers, industrial equipment, and vehicles. Power supply unit. The power supply unit is a hardware component that converts high voltage alternating current from a wall outlet into low voltage direct current that a computer's internal component needs to operate. It distributes this converted power to parts like the motherboard, CPU, and GPU, and it often includes features to protect the system from surge and other electrical faults. System unit connection cable. SATA. Serial Advanced Technology Attachment Cable. SATA cables are used to connect storage devices like hard drives, solid-state drives, and optical drives to a computer's motherboard or power supply. There are two main types of SATA cable: SATA cable and power cable. SATA beta cable transfer information between your storage device and your PC's motherboard. SATA power cable delivers electricity from the power supply to your SATA devices. The power supply unit should have these cables included. Let's disassemble the computer system unit. These are the steps to disassemble the computer system unit. First, press and hold the power button for 5 seconds to switch off the system and remove any excess electricity in the system. 2. Remove the power cord. 3. Unscrew and remove the system case cover to reveal inside of the system unit. 4. Detach the SATA connection cable from the HD drive, the CD-ROM drive and the motherboard. 5. Remove the RAM from the motherboard. 6. Unscrew and remove the hard disk drive carefully. 7. Remove the CD-ROM drive carefully. 8. Unscrew and remove the cooling fan and the heatsink to expose the CPU. 9. Open the CPU case and detach the CPU. 10. Unscrew the power supply unit to remove the power supply unit. 11. Unscrew the motherboard and remove it from the system unit. These are the steps in pictures. Remove the power cord, remove the system cover to reveal inside of the CPU. Remove the SATA cable from the hard drive, CD drive and the motherboard. Next, remove the RAM carefully. Unscrew and remove the hard disk drive carefully. Remove the CD-ROM drive carefully. Unscrew and remove the cooling fan and the heatsink to expose the CPU. Open the CPU case and detach the CPU. Next is to remove the power supply unit. Unscrew the power supply unit to remove the power supply unit. Then unscrew and remove the motherboard. These are some of the components that we have removed from the system unit. With this knowledge, you can comfortably disassemble and assemble a computer system unit and change or upgrade the components when necessary. In the next video, we will learn how to troubleshoot a computer system and determine the faults in the system. Thanks for watching.